Hey, YouTubers, more Rob Moffat. Guys, I had a viewer ask me some questions about making stuff in small spaces in an apartment. He was wanting me to do a video or have some tips on working in a small space. I've been making stuff in apartments for the last 25 years. I don't have all the answers. I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be the guru when it comes to working in small spaces or apartments. I have made a lot of mistakes. I'm still making mistakes. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to figure it out. But over the years, I have figured out some things I thought I'd share with you. What we got going on here today is this week I made a little tripod table, and out of some stuff I had scrap laying around, and I thought, I could make some more tables, different style. I'm going to make a side table for this folding chair. And I figured out a way to put PVC legs on that piece of wood there that I don't think I've ever seen anybody do. That would be kind of interesting. So that's why stuff looks kind of like a mess. I've got everything out on the floor here, but this is the space we've got to work with. The one bedroom apartment, got a small balcony. Been here since 2010. Before that, I lived in an apartment on Miami Beach, and I actually made underwater video camera housings and large paintings and framed them. They were a style of paintings that were rustic, so I could make frames that had imperfections and nobody cared. It was sort of the charm, the style, where if you made a very fancy painting, you would need a very fancy frame and it couldn't have any mistakes, where with the rustic style it was part of the program. It was okay, it had imperfections. So I was making money on selling on eBay my paintings and my underwater camera houses. I think I have, let me see. Oh yeah. This is a small, one of the only ones I have left. This guy is underwater camera housings. I used to make from 6-inch PVC water pipe. I'd get the plumbing supply house and cut them in pieces and put in the back of a Corolla and take to my apartment, and then I'd turn them into underwater camera housings a long time ago. Then eventually GoPro came out with cameras that would go underwater, or housings, and the camera, and it put me out of business. And my mom got sick. I moved here, and I still continued the paintings for a while, but it wasn't working out. With the noise and the dust and everything. So, and I just kind of retired from making stuff and selling it on eBay. But I still make stuff, and I don't have a lot of space. I have an apartment. Let's talk what we got going out here. I used to have on the balcony. I used to have shelving units, and I put bins on there, but the thing of it is, I had a lot of stuff that wasn't in bins, and the moisture and the heat, and they would rust and things would degrade over time, so I just started putting stuff in the bins. One of the problems I had is I didn't label the bins in a way that was permanent, and after a while they faded, and I had two different colors, so it was confusing. So I didn't, even though I had an inventory, it was digital, I didn't label the bins correctly. How dumb can you be? And so, like, if I go to make something now, even though I have the inventory list, it's hard for me to figure out what bins are which. So also, I made a giant mistake with the bins, is I have a lot of stuff I use constantly and all the time, and it's organized by different types of things, but it should be in one bin. I should have a bin of stuff that I use all the time instead of 11 different bins. So that was a very bad mistake. But over time, I realized if to work in an apartment, you want to have the ability to select the project according to the space you have, the tools you have, and the time you have. If you try to make stuff like I was making the large picture frames, it wasn't working because of I was making noise. I didn't want to interfere with the neighbors. No matter where you live, and or what you do or who you are, eventually you have to come home. And if you have neighbors that hate your guts, it's not a good life. So you want to make sure you're not getting the neighbors upset. So you want to fit your projects. I also realized over time I didn't want to do any sanding if possible, because the dust control is very difficult. You can do some, I have done some cutting and drilling in here in the apartment, but it's not the best thing to do. It's best to do it out here. And as far as sanding goes, you don't want to sand anywhere if you can get away with it. But even out here, it's doable, but I try to stay away from sanding if I can. Also, the fumes, doing a lot of heavy duty epoxy, that could be a bad situation. You have a noise spectrum. You're going to be making some noise, even if you're not making something. You're listening to the radio or you're cooking or whatever. You got a fan going on. So different tools make different amount of noises. I have a router that is so noisy it will knock airplanes down from the sky. It's very loud. I don't use it anymore. But there's other tools, the drills and stuff, they don't make a lot of noise. So you have a spectrum of noise. So if something is really loud, I try to find days when the maintenance people are out working, or they come through with the lawn maintenance and they're cutting the lawn. I have made stuff during the thunderstorm. We have a lot of thunderstorms here in South Florida. So like I said, there's a noise spectrum. You want to tailor your noise to the time of day, to when maybe there's other noise going on. If it's just regular noise, you're making a light tapping or drilling, you could do that at lunchtime. People are going to be making noise when they're cooking, so you can't expect the neighbors to have complete radio silence. I have tried to reduce the amount of storage I have for wood and plastic and metal. I live in a place that every once a week they throw out stuff, and it's easy for me to find raw materials to make stuff. So I used to have an obsession about picking up wood, because wood is so expensive, and sometimes I'd find mahogany, even teak, and I would just collect it. But then after a while it just got to be too much, and I wasn't making, because in the summertime it gets so hot out here, I delay making anything usually. So there's times of the year I'm not making anything. So you don't want to go overboard with your collecting metal and plastic and stuff on projects that one day you're going to make, even if you've got 19 other projects on the list you haven't started. So don't collect stuff for stuff you're probably never going to do. Also, you want to reduce your power tools. It's hard to get rid of stuff. If you look over here in the corner behind this curtain is a Ryobi drill. I don't want to get rid of it. I only used it a couple hours. It's got a nice story behind it, but I got a drill press behind the rocking chair. You also, if you look behind these cabinets, are some thin pieces of wood. And if you look down here, you see these clear bins? These clear bins are great. Like everything in here is tape or glue. Everything in there are, I forgot what's in there. But everything is allocated to I try to have the bin set up to where it's similar stuff in each bin. Like it's all fishing and bicycle stuff, or it's all lubricants, or all tape and glue, or assortment of hand tools, or assortment of fasteners. Also, these ammo boxes, they're out here. The ammo boxes have been very good. They're waterproof. They reduce moisture getting inside because they have a little gasket around the edges. put a little piece of wood on them with some hot glue, and they've been sticking ever since. Because we don't get a lot of heavy freezes, there's nothing expanding and contracting, so the glue sticks to the plastic very well. If you get your storage bins with containers made from the hard acrylic, they will last, but if you get the soft plastic, the sun degrades the material and they'll just dissolve. You can poke holes with your finger. I have a digital inventory of all of the bins, so I can just go into the inventory and search for green paint, and it'll tell me which bin the green paint is in. This little shop table is a Keter table. I installed a little wooden, this is oak, I think it's oak, for the little vise. I want to get a piece of plywood and put on the front here and make like a pegboard, so I could attach different tools I use frequently to a piece of pegboard here. But during the summertime, I basically use a table to keep cooking out here, to keep the kitchen from getting hot. So I don't do a lot of woodworking in the summertime. I have a nice fan. It helps a lot. It looks pretty junky, don't it? But I don't have a lot of space and I got a lot of stuff. What can I tell you? When I had the car, I kept a lot of stuff for the car here too. Now, I have a smaller drill press that I like to use on this table, and the jigsaw. I used to have a Rockwell Blade Runner that I'd set out on the table, and I'd use, that's basically an upside down jigsaw, but over the years I thought to myself the small bandsaw would have been better than the Rockwell Blade Runner. My most popular tools would be my little Makita drill, my little Japanese handsaw, my ratchet screwdriver, and my jigsaw. I just realized the other day my jigsaw has an attachment to suck out the dust. I never realized that until recently. I can put this table at an angle and open up the sliding glass door, and I can work on stuff that's really long. I was going to take the screen and make like a zipper so I could open up the screen and get a roller and put long stuff out the screen and work on it and put a roller there, that way. But I never did that. I have switched to making a lot of small projects, and I have a small toolkit that has a lot of little attachments that I use, and it's, instead of making really big stuff, working on small stuff like fixing electronics or repairing appliances and so on, instead of making stuff with large pieces of wood and metal and plastic. I still have a couple projects left I want to do with the wood that's kind of large, but I've switched basically to small stuff. Like I said, I try to stay away from the sanding if I can. The biggest hindrance, the biggest obstacle to making stuff in a small apartment is not being able to locate your raw materials or your tools. The inventory has helped a lot, but like I said, I did a really bad job at labeling. Like I have some bins in the bedroom. I have to get a flashlight and look and bend down and try to read the labels on the bins because they're only like this big. I should have big giant numbers on all the bins, and that's all you need. What a dummy. So if you can find your tools, if you can find your equipment, if you have a handy table, and a chair and a light and a fan and something to keep the dust away and something for your eyes to protect them and your ears, you can make stuff. Like I said, I made underwater camera housings and large paintings and frames in my apartment on Miami Beach for a long time. I made them here for a short while, but the neighbors, I could tell I was going to have a problem, and it was just too much dust and fumes. So everything in this room is storage. This is storage, that's storage, that's storage. There's storage behind there. Over in the corner are clear boxes. There's clear boxes here. There's storage behind the couch. And I also have a tiny storage area in a common area downstairs, but it's very tiny. I have my mom's old china dishes and the router that is very loud, very, 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 very loud. I find that when you have equipment that is in boxes, like a DeWalt, or a lot of other things that are in boxes, they're so much easier to find. If you have a loose tool, it's in a box with other loose tools, and it's kind of hard to locate. Where the box, it's easier. The biggest thing to think about is making adjustments to the size of your project, the complexity of your project, the time involved, and make things that suit the space you have and the amount of time you have. Also, you want projects that when you work on, you can put away, because you may not be able to finish them. So if you have something that you can actually move around and put away until you have time to work on it again. Otherwise, you have stuff in your living room taking up space, and it looks terrible. So this room doesn't normally look like this. Like I said yesterday, I just finished that project, and while I had the tools, I said, let me work on a couple more and knock them out, and then things will look better. But yeah, the room looks pretty bad, doesn't it? Those plastic water jugs are for exercise. They're full of water, as for farmer carry. So you can do it. You can make a lot of stuff in an apartment. But organization and dust control and picking the right projects is the most important part. I would like to get a welder. I would only use it during electrical storms. Is that lightning, or is that crazy guy? All right, I know I'm leaving out something. Those screens need to be replaced. I keep getting ready to do them, but then I think, what if we get a hurricane this year? I should just wait and see. I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Happy to talk about making stuff in a tiny one-bedroom apartment.